Welcome back to my channel. It's Wendy here from Toonpish Crafts and I hope you're doing okay. Today I'm going to be doing a geode skull that a friend of mine, Smelly Cat Creations, kindly cut out for me and I bought it from him on request. So this is a Halloween skull and yeah, I'm going to jazz it up a little bit, I think. Let's see how I get on with this one. So to start with, I'm just showing you that the skull is 16 inches by 13 inches, so it is really quite large. And I'm going to put some sticky back plastic on the back, also known as contact paper, I believe. So yeah, that's going to go on the back. I have a large sheet, so that should be plenty, but I was just making sure really that it fitted. So once I figure out what size I need to cut, luckily this sticky back plastic has lines on the back which makes it easy to cut out the square. And then I'm going to turn it upside down and just pop it onto the plastic. It doesn't matter if the plastic ripples because you won't see the ripples underneath the back anyway. And then I'm going to trim up around the outside. So here I'm using a lolly stick to flatten out the plastic on the back and make sure it's really stuck to the back of the skull. And I'm going to cover the entire front part of the skull in this uni paint marker. Now my way of thinking was that it's kind of an undercoat and this isn't such a great pen that I didn't mind using it for an undercoat, but it is silver, which is what I want to end up using at the end. So now that's done, it's time for my first coat of resin, and this is Rapids. This is Vista Rapids, and I'm just going to give it a quick coat, trying to make sure that I cover every part of it. So 24 hours later, and you can see that the resin has turned grey. That's because the Uni Bond marker that I used decided to mix with the resin and turn it grey. So it's a good job it's an undercoat really. So I'm going to be mixing a white now with Aurora Silver, which is cosmetic pigments from Etsy. I'll put all the links in the description below. And I'm going to mix that with Resin 8 Opaque White because I run a really sparkly white for the teeth and I'm probably going to make too much, which I think I actually do. So I'm going to use it as part of the skull as well. So I put far too much glitter in and it made the mixture really thick, so it was difficult to get it in the teeth. In the end I think I just spread it over and wiped it off. Because I'd done a resin coat first, everything was covered in resin and it was easy to wipe off anyway. So now I'm just going to use some more white that I've mixed up with less glitter in it, so it's a little bit more runny. And I'm just going to randomly put white in some of the sections. I'm going to be using 3 colours in this, white, black and copper, and I want them randomly placed throughout the skull. Having a little squirt with isopropanol alcohol to get rid of the surface bubbles. I could use a torch and actually later I do, but isopropanol alcohol works very well and you only need 1 or 2 squirts and leave it and walk away and it's fine. So the more I'm talking here, the more I'm realising that my voice is going. I hope I still got it by the end of this. This is the black pigment that I'm using. It came in a set. It's got some really nice colours in it actually. It was a cheap set from Amazon. I will put it in the link below. And this is Pearl X Super Copper, which is gorgeous, but I'm afraid I'm running short of it and it's not a cheap thing to buy. So again, I'm just randomly placing black and copper in opposing triangles and just trying to make it different really. I do actually stop when it gets to the face because I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it, but I decide that I'm going to put black right the way around the face. And yeah, we'll see how that turns out later. As usual, I've speeded most of this up for you. It's either ×4, ×8 or even ×10 because this was a long project for me. It took a few days. I did keep coming back to it. But as it's such a long project, you don't want to sit through all of it. When I uploaded the video, it was 2 hours long. Yeah, not going to happen. So I've cut a lot out and speeded so much up. So 24 hours later and it's time to use some metal leaf glue. Now my way of thinking is I start with 1 colour, so I'm going to start with the copper colour and just glue up the copper colour for the foil. Now those who haven't seen my previous video on the foil, I'll link it in the corner of the screen for you, but this foil is amazing. All links will be in the description below. So my glue is not flammable, so I can use a lighter to get rid of the bubbles like you would at the top of a resin. But I do make sure the glue is right up the sides. You may be able to see in the corner of the screen there that I do have a mask on. This glue is extremely smelly and I wanted to protect myself and I just don't like the fumes, so I decided to put my mask on. So I've cut out pieces of the foil in the right sort of size for the triangles I'm going to put it in. I have scrunched it up with the intentions to have a bitty texture, but I end up pushing it down and using the whole amount so it's quite flush, and it doesn't matter whether it's scrunched or not, it still comes out nice. So it's a bit pointed scrunching it. The only one I actually scrunched with was the last one that was on the white. Just giving you a close-up here of the process that I'm using. I'm using a cotton bud to push it down with and make sure it goes right the way around the edge of the recess. And when I put it up, if there's any bits that haven't stuck, I'm trying to get those little bits to stick as well, and most of the time they do. And a close-up shot of how it looks at the moment. So the previous one I used, I didn't tell you actually, it was holographic pebbles. The copper one is holographic pebbles and it's gorgeous. This one is going to go over the black and it is the silver hologram lines. Again, I did scrunch this up, but I'm not using the scrunchies. I actually prefer the solid colour. It's only when I get to the silver confetti that I actually use the scrunchies, because the white has glitter in it and I kind of wanted the glitter to come through too. So you can see in the close-up that I used the scrunch version on the white, which was the silver confetti. And yeah, I think it worked out really well. So now on to the face part of the skull, and I actually asked some friends whether I should leave it back or put the other foil on, which is called Adele. And I think it was a unanimous decision that the foil won really, so I decided to cover the entire face in one sheet of Adele, and hopefully the pattern will kind of stay where it should be, if you see what I mean. So again, close up to show you what the face looks like with the one sheet of Adele over the top, and I have cleaned up all the edges as well. So now to use the Decor colour Premium Silver, which is my favourite silver marker. It is so gorgeous. I'm just going to go over all the raised parts and yeah, make it look silvery. God, I love a bit of sparkle. So once that's all done, and I've done right the way around the outside edge as well, it's time to give it a top coat with Vista Rapids. So as usual, I'm guesstimating the amount of resin I need, and I do actually have to make up another lot because I haven't made enough. But I'm just top coating and using a silicone tool to spread it out and make sure it gets to the edges. And when you don't use a silicone mould, you can use a torch very safely. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. It gets rid of the bubbles so quickly. Quick close-up of how it looks top coated, and I'm so chuffed with it. I'm so pleased with it, how this has turned out. So as you saw, I used the hologram film with a colour background, and this is the results. Now I do absolutely love it. I know I say that a lot, but I think it's gorgeous. The hologram film is just amazing stuff. I asked friends of mine whether I should leave that black or whether I should use one permanent colour or one colour. And yeah, they came up with a colour. They said the black would detract from it, so that's what I did. And I think it's turned out so well. It's going to be hanging up on my wall for Halloween. I hope you've gained something out of this video. I do apologise if I sound a bit weird. I do have a cold at the moment, which is typical. But yeah, still got to get in front of the camera for you. So thanks for watching this one. I hope you've gained something from it. If you'd like to leave any comments, suggestions or ideas, please use the comment section below. Thumbs up is always welcome, and if you haven't subscribed already, please consider doing so. It does help my channel out. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. I'll put some stills up at the end. Have a great week, and I'll see you again next week. Bye for now.